I just came back from my trip to Lagos, Nigeria, where we had a few intensive video shooting days. And the thing that got me thinking, I've never been to Lagos, Nigeria. In fact, 2 out of 3 clips that I just showed you were never filmed. They were AI generated. How does it make you feel? Hopeful or rather scared about the future? Let's talk about it. I recently stumbled across a very interesting article from #1 video production company in the world, Lemonlight. The article is about how AI is changing the video production industry. And I'll leave the full link to this blog in the description. And in this video, I want to touch on some parts of the video production that are gonna be impacted by AI and what software and tools you can use to upgrade your skill. As well as we'll talk about other parts of the video production process that are relatively safe from the AI influence yet. And first and foremost, AI generated videos. Sora AI was introduced to us just a few months ago and it is insane. I mean, just look at those clips, they look exactly like stock footage, and it's insane that at the beginning of the video I used 2 of them and majority of you guys probably didn't even notice. And in my honest opinion, maybe not now, maybe in a year, maybe 2 years, it's probably gonna replace a lot of stock footage. And the sad thing about that there are actual videographers and photographers who film the stock footage, who upload them to the platforms and getting some revenue from that, as I understand it, and it looks like high quality AI stuff like from Sona AI can really replace it. But here is an interesting part about it. If you've been following Instagram news and trends, you've probably noticed something like this. Instagram released a feature where the platform can identify AI created content. And it's not necessarily AI created, it can be also content that was just retouched in Photoshop, that just like, ketchup was removed from the table, like generated fill, something like that. Peter McKinnon actually just recently made a video about that. This one, I'll leave a link in the description as well. He explained it in details. But what I'm saying is, maybe major platforms like YouTube or other streaming services will be able to identify which B-roll uses AI, like Sona AI, and then it will maybe like limit those clips or will need to tag them as AI. So that's definitely a huge both benefit and kinda con. Let me know in the comments how do you feel about that. Second part of video production that at least partially is being replaced by AI is script writing. Now, I'm not saying that we do not need script writers because we definitely need them, but their jobs got, I don't want to say easier, but more creative in a sense, because currently they can use so many different chatbots like ChatGPT, Perplexity AI, or Gemini by Google to help them create a story. Maybe not the entire story, but at least a rough outline that they can polish later. So they can focus more on the creative side rather than dwelling process of writing everything down, because those chatbots can help them now. And the third part of video production that is slowly getting kinda replaced is voiceovers. Now, I'm kinda mixed about that, because sometimes AI voice will sound super amazing with emotions, and honestly sometimes I'm not able to tell if it's a real person or AI. But sometimes it's just so robotic you can immediately identify that it's AI. That being said, I read an interesting story recently, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that Google in their call centers, they were using AI assistants that were just talking to people without even saying that they are AI, and like people were having a normal conversation without ever knowing it. Like, this is just mind-blowing. But again, I'm not 100% sure, so please verify this information. The only problem with AI voiceovers, at least at this moment, if you set a tone like be more scary or like be more dramatic, it kinda like exaggerates too much. Think about the last Nike motivational commercial you've seen.
We've all been underestimated and counted out. In those moments, we felt like it was over.
The voiceover is always so perfect. It gets you in this mood, it gets you in this feeling, it makes you feel exactly what's going on. And I think AI, even the best voiceovers there, are not at this level yet. However, if you would try to play with some tools, 2 of the tools I use is ElevenLabs and Speechify. Now let's move to the second part of the video and talk about some of the processes that probably not gonna be replaced by AI yet. First and foremost, we have creative concept. By creative concept, I mean the general story, like general idea behind the video, what and how you want to achieve it. And obviously, if you ask ChatGPT to give you a video for the car dealership, how to sell more cars, it's gonna give you some scripts, but there's another problem in it. A lot of times when we talk about business video, there's deeper emotional and philosophical needs that need to be met. Like, think about already mentioned Nike. They don't just sell shoes.
But I did not buy this sneaker because somebody knocked on my door and sold it to me.
Shoes is just the commodity. The product they sell is hope. It's hope that you can wear a Nike and feel like an athlete inside, that you can do more, that you can just do it. And when it comes to understanding the story, understanding the emotional appeal to people that much, AI, it feels like it's based more on the logic rather than emotions. So that's why, as of right now, I kinda agree that the storytelling is probably gonna be in the hands of humans. Now comes the fun part, the filming. And obviously to film something, you still need a camera. You still need a person to put that camera. Even to put it on a robot, you still need to put it and program it. So that's kind of obvious that the actual filmmaking, the cameramans, are probably not gonna be replaced by AI. I mean, there are things like extremely complicated machines that MKBHD uses, for example, to film some of cool technical B-rolls, but they're still operated by human. And yes, obviously new camera have some AI features like object tracking if you fly the drone or whatever else, but I mean, if we're talking about regular handheld or gimbal footage, you still need a person to do that, right? And the last part is editing. Look, I've tried to use few AI tools when it comes to editing, and they kinda do help and kinda not. At the end of the day, if you've ever filmed a bigger project where you have few voiceovers, few A-rolls, few B-rolls, and you need to do the entire story out of that, imagine just throwing it into AI's hands and tell, do the story. I mean, it might do it, but again, we're talking about emotional storytelling here. Like I was just doing a StoryBrand video for the restaurant. Imagine if I would give all the B-rolls and all the A-rolls to AI. Like how would it know that this B-roll will suit here better than the other one? And what if it's two identical B-rolls, yet the light is a little different? Like which one would it choose? So that being said, I think if we're talking about simple editing like podcasts and just switching from camera A to camera B or something like this, or just cutting out the silent moments, sure, AI can definitely help. But if we're talking about the bigger storytelling editing concept, I think AI is a little too early for that as well. Now, the last kind of thing I want to touch in this video is not here yet, but I think it might be coming. Think about the video like this one, where I'm just sitting in front of the camera, you can see my face all the time, you can hear my voice all of the time. How hard would it be for AI to replicate the video like this? Like let's imagine that you will have an access to the tool that can scan my voice, scan my face, and then you can just type, change his face a little bit, and literally do the same type of video with telling what to say from ChatGPT generated text, and you can produce dozens and dozens of those videos without any hassle. And if that video will look exactly like mine right now, you're gonna win every time, just because of the fact that you'll be able to produce way much volume. And even if your video gonna be tagged, made by AI, I mean, if it's gonna look exactly like this one, why would people care which one to watch, you know? So that's kinda an interesting dilemma. I mean, it might be obviously hard to replicate videos like MrBeast ones, but there are millions of videos like this one where people just sit in front of the camera and deliver some value, like just talk to the camera. So, you know, what's gonna happen to those creators? But anyway, that's the question for tomorrow. I appreciate if you guys watch this video. I'll leave the materials I mentioned in this video below in the links. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, it will mean a lot to me, and let me know what do you think about all this AI thing in the comments.